Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering with Hearts and Hands.
It's because of you that we're able to serve the community.
Our volunteers are the reason we exist. Whether it's assisting someone to a medical appointment or helping maintain their home when we are able, our volunteers make the world of difference. We appreciate how dedicated all of our volunteers are. Over the years, I have seen so many friendships evolve between our volunteers and care receivers, and how much our volunteers mean to the care receivers. What you do as volunteers is truly amazing. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You make the difference.
Hi, I'm David Shank, Commissioner of Erie County Senior Services. I'd like to thank Hearts and Hands for all their hard work this year. You guys worked very hard to help us reach older adults. I'm very appreciative of our partnership. It's been of tremendous value to me and to my staff. Also, thank you for rising to the occasion during COVID-19. You guys performed a vital service that was definitely needed this past year. Well, I hope next time that I get to see you, we will definitely be in person. And again, thank you and have a great 2021.
Hi everyone, I'm Tara Donovan, Deputy Director of the Niagara County Office for the Aging. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to say a few words about volunteering and to personally thank you for your time, energy, and dedication to our community. Volunteers have been a vital part of the services we've provided older adults throughout Niagara County since 1973, specifically our nutrition programs. Over the years, volunteers have delivered thousands and thousands of meals to homebound older adults and also assisted with serving meals at our meal sites. Without the help of our volunteers, those services simply would not have been possible. And please don't forget, not only does volunteering help people in need and offer essential help to worthwhile causes, it also benefits you, the volunteer, with your mental and physical health. Volunteering connects you with others in the community, builds self-esteem and self-confidence, and gives a sense of purpose. We can't thank all volunteers enough for their continuous, selfless acts of kindness. Thank you again, and be well and safe.
Happy holidays, everyone. Well, this is a little bit of an unconventional volunteer recognition that we're doing this year. As all of you can imagine, we've had to adapt the way we deliver services, and we've had to adapt the way we recognize our volunteers. You know, your safety is one of our top priorities. We want to make sure that everyone stays safe and healthy. And we want to wish everyone a happy holidays. You know, during this past year, we've been faced with many challenges that the COVID pandemic has brought upon. And I'm so thankful for the volunteers within our network for rising to the challenge to help respond to the need, because the need is still there. Even during a lockdown, older adults still need to get to their medical appointments. Folks need to have access to groceries, to go grocery shopping for them. We need folks who can make those social interactions, brighten someone's day by just giving them a telephone call and saying, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? What can I do for you? What can Hearts and Hands do for you? We're here to support you in any way possible. And I've received so many phone calls from care receivers who are thankful just for that phone interaction. It's nice for them to know that other folks know that they're still here, and that they're seeking that human connection. And I just want to thank each and every one of you who've really stepped up to the plate to help us make those phone calls. I've also received amazing phone calls and notes from caregivers as well, who are living out of state. And during this pandemic, it's difficult to travel to New York and check on mom and dad. And they're thankful that the volunteers across our network are able to help their mom or their dad get access to groceries, to go grocery shopping for them, to help them get to the medical appointments, and to do those phone check-ins. So, you know, just know that your work is just so well received by everyone across the network. We're so thankful for each and every one of you. It's just been amazing to see the outpouring of support. We've recruited over 90 volunteers, which has really helped us expand our capacity to serve over 140 new care receivers during the pandemic. Hearts and Hands is such a valuable service to the community, and it really wouldn't be possible without each and every one of you. And I'm so excited to celebrate all of our volunteers, but I'm also excited to celebrate a specific volunteer in each area who has really stepped up to the plate this year and helped us deliver these services. And you're going to be hearing more about them, and I hope that you'll lift up a glass or do a clap at home to honor these volunteers.
Kevin Hickey has been chosen as the Akron, New York Volunteer of the Year. He is a wonderful volunteer that helps out with the food pantry. Jill and Tabitha, both coordinators for Akron in 2020, have stated that Kevin always goes above and beyond for his care receivers. He does so by making many calls and arranging his schedule to make sure everyone will be home. When Kevin calls his care receivers, he is calling to check in on them and talk, not just about the food pantry. He makes everyone feel like they have a friend, and we receive this feedback time and time again from his care receivers. Congratulations, Kevin, on being this year's Volunteer of the Year for Akron, and we are truly thankful for your service with Hearts and Hands. Corleen Orfeo has been chosen as the Volunteer of the Year for Alden and the Southtowns. She jumped into volunteering with Hearts and Hands when everything began to shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Jill, our volunteer coordinator for this service area, states that Corleen has offered almost all of her free time to help out with every request that came her way, no matter the service area. She has done everything from cleaning out garages to grocery shopping and transporting care receivers to medical appointments, all while caring for young children at home. She still offers assistance by having her Girl Scout troop make greeting cards to send to care receivers. Thank you, Corleen, for all that you do for Hearts and Hands, and congratulations on being this year's Volunteer of the Year for Alden and the Southtowns. Daniel Durham has been chosen as the Amherst Volunteer of the Year for many reasons. Dan signed on to volunteer with Hearts and Hands in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Heidi and Suzanne, coordinators for Amherst in 2020, both state that Dan has taken many requests since becoming a volunteer back in March. The care receivers that work with Dan always call in to let them know how amazing he was to work with and to specifically request him for their next service need. Thank you, Dan, for signing on to volunteer during such an uncertain time and for all the amazing work you do with Hearts and Hands. Congratulations on being this year's Volunteer of the Year for the Amherst service area. Claire Dean has been chosen as this year's Volunteer of the Year for Clarence. She has also joined Hearts and Hands during the COVID-19 pandemic. Jill, the coordinator for the Clarence service area, states that Claire jumped right into volunteering by grocery shopping for one care receiver, which has now grown into shopping for multiple care receivers. On a regular basis, Claire shops for 3 individuals and has become good friends with each of them. Her care receivers always call in to express their immense gratitude for Claire and all that she's done for them. Thank you, Claire, for being a wonderful volunteer, and congratulations on being chosen as the Volunteer of the Year for Clarence. Elaine Kopel has been chosen as the Kenmore Tonawanda Volunteer of the Year for many reasons. Since beginning with Hearts and Hands, she has picked up many assignments. Sally, our volunteer coordinator for Kenton, states that after each assignment, care receivers call in to let her know how reliable and helpful Elaine was. Many of her care receivers also state that Elaine is there to lend a listening ear, but most importantly, they view her as a friend and enjoy working with her very much. Thank you, Elaine, for the wonderful work you've done with Hearts and Hands, and congratulations on this year's Volunteer of the Year award for Kenmore and Tonawanda. Elaine Wellens has been chosen as the Volunteer of the Year for Niagara County. Sally, volunteer coordinator for the service area, states that Elaine is very caring and such a loving person. Her care receivers request Elaine time and time again for their appointments and service needs. The feedback we receive about Elaine is that she is such a joy to work with and manages to always find a way to make her care receivers smile. Thank you, Elaine, for being such an amazing volunteer with Hearts and Hands, and congratulations on being chosen for this year's Volunteer of the Year for Niagara County.
As we individually and as communities are dealing with the human side effects of the coronavirus, we're seeing the often tragic cost of the isolation and restrictions forced on us by the disease and the authorities' response to it. So you don't have to catch the virus to be affected by it. Even then, it endangers people, body, mind, and spirit. And Hearts and Hands, with its amazing volunteers, are right there boldly, compassionately, plunging right into the middle of it. Erin and Tabitha and all the staff, I know that you are beyond proud of each of these volunteers. There are really no words to express their and my gratitude for you all and for the essential work that you do so quietly day after day. This year, Paul Hobel has been selected to represent you, as he has shown by his example in his work what excellence in volunteering looks like. In her nomination of Paul, Tabitha wrote this: Paul is an engaging volunteer who knows how to connect with a variety of different people. We receive feedback from care receivers across all paths of life. One of our volunteers with cerebral palsy struggles getting food or making medical appointments and needs assistance. Paul is always willing to help and goes out of his way to not only help provide transportation access to these essential needs, but he provides companionship for our clients. One of our clients tells us Paul is very helpful and always listens. If I need to just talk when we're on our way to appointments, he's a really good listener and a good person. You know, often clients of Hearts and Hands live alone and don't have much social interaction, and that can lead to social isolation. Fortunately, with volunteers like Paul and coordinators who foster a powerful social network at Hearts and Hands, we can provide that listening ear for care receivers to express themselves, to be heard, and to know that they are valued and loved. See, folks who need assistance don't necessarily have an easy life. We work to provide services regardless of their circumstances. One of our care receivers told us that Paul puts my mind at ease before picking me up for my appointments. The elderly and handicapped don't like asking for help. It's not because they're lazy, but because they need help. Thanks to volunteers like Paul, who can help clients become comfortable with our services, we're able to help reduce the anxiety of older adults and people with disability in our communities and empower them to live as independently as possible. Paul has only been a volunteer for 3 years, and in that time, he's left an indelible imprint on so many lives, and they've left the same on his. That was clear as Paul and I chatted about his experiences as a volunteer. He started out by saying he decided to volunteer because it gets me out of the house. A lot of folks start out that way, with that thought. Now he appreciates it when people ask for him by name. He said, "Now I have a lot of regulars and I enjoy them." He added, "I know they appreciate what I do for them. They give me cookies and bread they've baked. But their sharing with me has brought happiness into my life. It feels good." You know, as he talked, I experienced what his clients must experience. His calm, pleasant voice, which inspires trust and confidence, which he then earns by being there for those who need him, whenever and wherever he's needed. He says he goes all over Western New York. That's a really big thing. But Paul also does the little things that mean just as much, and sometimes even more. Like when he stops at Tops, picks up a bunch of TV topics, and takes them to his people. Sometimes he drops them off at the door. Other times he gives them to them in person. Paul said he especially appreciates being able to help families who live in other states. He's able to reassure them that their loved ones have a strong safety net to depend on to help them get what they need. As he put it, helping mom or dad here really extends to the whole family. That feels good. My sisters and brothers, it's humbling to think about the power that all of you volunteers have. Power for good. Humbling, yes. And yet, it's also, and should be, a source of pride and honor to be such an agent. The caring in your hearts shows through the work of your hands as you live your faith in action. That's at the core of your work. So thank you, Paul, for showing us all once again what excellent volunteering looks like. This is what it looks like day to day. It's our honor and my delight to present to you this year's Pula Award for Excellence in Volunteerism. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Patricia Watson and I'm Chair of the Board of Hearts and Hands. I'd like to welcome everybody today and say with a huge sigh of relief, we've made it through 2020 and we're now in 2021. I think for all of us this year held tremendous challenges. It's uncharted territory. We're going to places we've never been before as a nation, as a community. And you have risen incredibly high to help us chart our way through this tempest. I can't begin to say how wonderful your volunteer efforts have been for our care recipients and for Erie County and Niagara County. It is truly an honor to be able to address you today, to say a huge thank you for all that you do, and to look forward to working with you as time goes on and as we all attempt to serve our community in the best way possible. So many, many thanks for all that you do. You're very special, and please realize that you are a treasured commodity to Hearts and Hands.